time to build a bloody gaming PC, which is a scary thought because I haven't done this in 12 years and I am a little bit out of practice. And if nobody's ever built one before, it's actually just like adult Lego, in all honesty. It's not as scary as it seems. I understand why people buy pre-builts. I understand why people do custom builds as well. But with the current state of the market for parts, that's a premium on top of a premium, and I couldn't wait. Plus, this is technically a workstation, as the vast majority of stuff that I do on my computer is actually editing, writing emails, writing content, doing client programs and all that kind of stuff, and my current desktop is just not fast enough to do that anymore. I mean, my current desktop is 12 years old and won't even run CapCut, so I needed an upgrade, and here we are. So we've gone for a 9850, is apparently one of the best CPUs you can get. A 58, god damn it, that's not supposed to happen. A 5080, to give you an idea, I'm currently rocking a 970, so that is what, like 6 generations behind this. 32 gigs of RAM because I am literally not made of money. Motherboard with Wi-Fi 7 because that's what I wanted. 1 terabyte SSD because, again, I'm not made of money. Then I've got a liquid cooler over there, a case over there, which if you've never built a gaming computer, you're probably thinking, why don't you have the case out right now? So it's actually a good idea to test your components outside of a case. It makes building the computer easier, and then if anything's wrong, you haven't installed everything, and then you install it all in the case afterwards. So I'm talking to people who've never built a gaming computer, come on. You also need a monitor so you can check that it boots. You need a DisplayPort cable because you need to be able to plug it in. You need an anti-static wristband, which is what this is, so that needs to be connected to something metal. And that just stops you from frying your computer parts. And then I thought a power supply. So I've actually, for the first time ever, gone fully modular, which I never got to do before. I'm glad I just watched that video because I forgot where you attach this to. And it says to attach it to the power supply, which you plug in. So that's what we're doing. So until I do that, I'm just gonna keep it out of the way. So I watched that Manosphere documentary last night by Louis Theroux, and it would appear that who knew? Oh my god, what just happened? Literally, what just happened? Yeah, I watched that Louis Theroux documentary last night. It was really funny, because I get that he was never going to be able to interview some of the proper bad men of the Manosphere. They wouldn't. Silent operation. Plug that in. So it just said to connect that to the mains and then connect my anti-static wristband to that. So I'm just going to swap that onto another hand. Take my watch off because I'm not walking anywhere. So I've got hopefully got a couple of hours before my mother-in-law gets back with Arthur. Because if they walk in mid-build, that's not really ideal. So the grand reveal, the unboxing. So when I last built my computer, I didn't cheap out, but it was at a weird time where prices were fairly high. And what I've come to realise from building computers, looking into computers, is there'll always be a component that is expensive. So when I built my computer 12 years ago, it was SSDs and graphics cards that were inflated prices. Yeah, it was graphics cards and SSDs. So graphics cards, because this is how old I am, it was the start of the crypto mining boom. SSDs, because there'd been a flood in Taiwan, which is where a lot of them are built, and it was affecting supply. So graphics cards are expensive because all the crypto miners wanted them and you couldn't get an SSD. Whereas now it's AI making RAM and SSDs really expensive. Graphics cards aren't that bad, motherboards aren't that bad, everything else. So it kind of all balanced out when I looked into it. It doesn't ever seem like you can just... Apparently last year was actually a really good time to build a computer in terms of pricing. But hey ho, I wasn't ready to build one then. Right, this guide. So again, I've said it before, adult Lego, those instructions, it's just adult Lego. You just need to figure out where you're starting. It's always the scary bits because this has got like loads of bits on it. You just want to lift it up and then lift the socket up like that. And so what's weird about, what I always find weird is it's got this cover on, which just pops off when you put the CPU in. And when I built my last computer, so what I didn't realise they changed about CPUs is, it used to be that all the pins were on the CPU, and now they're all on the motherboard. You just need to look. And then it's all about lining up. And then you want the corner. Oof, it's hefty, that. Right, so the corner goes in there, does it? That's not what it's saying. Cool. And you put that down. And then it just pops off like that. Mental, isn't it? Cool, right. CPU done for now. But to test, you just do CPU, RAM. There is the potential, so I've gone for 32 gigs of RAM. And to give you an idea, I'm currently working with, this is DDR5, I'm currently working with DDR3. See, what's fun now is that it wants me to scan this thing. The instructions are on a QR code, and I don't want to scan a QR code. But I know it's dual channel. Main thing with the RAM is just lining it up, so there we go. Honestly, adult Lego, like seriously. So that, put it in the wrong way, so just put it in the right way. And then you just push down until it clips in, like that. Oh, cool. There we go, right, RAM done. This is new to me. I've never done a NVMe. We're still using like solid, not even, SSDs were quite new, which was the other reason they were expensive, but we're still using like normal, that is so small. We're still using like normal hard drives. I'm worried I'm gonna break this. I'm gonna have to bloody look at this thing, aren't I? Literally, why would it be like this? It's so stupid. Graphics card, power connectors, memory, M2 module. Just let me just watch this. Lads, I've actually managed to put it in the right modules without even looking at it. There's a small QR code that I can see here, and yeah, I've done the ones first right, so absolutely smashed it before even watching this video. So now I have no idea. This has this bloody heatsink on it, which is just like wild to me. Like, does that go back on it? I think it does. Did it come off? Does that stay on? Is that thermal paste? For now, I'm just leaving that off. I've already scuffed it a little bit. Lads, this is way too complicated for me. I'm gonna have to download this bloody thingy. Yeah, so it looks like you just leave this thermal compound on, and I've just tried to peel it off. Luckily, I haven't peeled it over the bit that's gonna sit on my SSD. So then you just mental. Honestly, this is mental to me. Right, so I've done RAM, I've done SSD, I've done CPU. It just leaves this absolute beast of a bad boy. Honestly mental to me. So I bought this SSD, and some of the reviews on the deal were like, oh, don't trust this, like, wouldn't trust this supplier, never heard of them, blah, blah, blah. And then someone was like, this is just a white label for a company that does all of these brands. So don't talk about what you don't know. And I'm like, building a computer is wild because there's so many opinions, but what I've tended to find when looking for advice is, if you look in the comments enough, you eventually see comments from people who clearly know exactly what they're talking about. Like, there's people who pretend that they know what they're talking about and will give like silly recommendations like that, and then there's the people who are just like, yeah, let's leave this to the adults, so to speak. And yeah, when I saw the comment from the guy being like, they white label, here's their production statistics, I was like, all right, cool, so that's someone to listen to them. All right, and I'm just off-putting the fact that these are all SATA cables, aren't they? It's now time to do this bad boy, which, if you've ever built a PC, you'll know that this was up there with the most expensive part. What have we got here? Ooh. Okay. Alright, okay. Love that they weren't included in the instructions. But yeah, you'll know, if you go for a high-end GPU like this, that it is one of the most expensive parts. I'm really annoyed at myself And I know it doesn't sound like a lot. I won't say exactly how much I spent on this, but when I was buying it, there was a day or a week where it was £100 cheaper, and I was like, I won't buy it because, you know, if it's already gone down, it'll go down again. And then it went back up to the original price, so I could have saved myself £100. And I didn't. Why have they given me a USB? Why would I want the French instructions? There are just so many cables. I've never had a modular supply because they're more expensive. So the last one I built just had all of the cables. Just knowing that I don't need them all is quite nice. But that I need the CPU. And then none of these are labelled. That one? There we go. They are. PCIe. Power 1 CPU power. Probably someone shouting at the screen be like, it's that one, it's that one. No, that is a hard drive one. CPU. What is that one? CPU. I don't know why I need two. Again, it's been a long time, guys. That is one I don't need right now. I know that much. That should be all I need going forward. There's too many cables, but graphics card. You would think it would be clearer. Again, it's like, oh, just watch this video. It's like, why not just have the instructions? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Why not? Why would you install your graphics card first? Okay, so that's another. I'm almost saying the graphics card goes in there. Wild. Honestly, there's basically no point downloading this installation guide. Still hasn't told me why I've got. Oh, sweet. Oh, look at that. Comes with a freaking mouse mat. How sick is that? Still hasn't told me why I've got no idea. Literally no idea. Still hasn't told me why I've got USB. Oh, sorry, you have to scroll down, obviously. Right. Easy PCI slot. Lads, this has a locking and unlocking thing. It needs to be in the locked position. Locked, unlocked, locked. It's even got a little padlock on it. Hilarious. Right, look at the size of this thing. God, it's so hefty. Jeez. True. Thank God I'm plugged in. It just goes like this. Wild. That's it. That's literally it. And then now we can hook up this to the display part. Cool. All stuff I don't need to do right now. Bonus, I just want to get it all set up. It should be time to just turn it on. How scary is this? Nope. Do you know what? It would help if I plugged in the power supply, wouldn't it? Because nothing will turn on if I haven't plugged in the power supply. Again, can you tell it's been a long time? Right, CPU, all the way over there, obviously. Oh mate, it's been so long. It's been so long. Why would this have three separate ones? Obviously goes in there. I have no idea what time it is. CPU. Do not judge my cable management now. Right, most of this is done. Now I just need to figure out how to turn it on. Everything is connected. I'm pretty sure when I built my last computer, I actually just did it. In the case and everything. This is the thing, when you haven't plugged it into the case, you have to figure out how to start it yourself. And this is so much more complicated than when I've done it myself previously. Again, there's probably someone screaming at the screen like, do it like this. Dude, my hands are shaking and I don't even know why, because this is like the hard part done, I'm pretty sure. Well, no, it's not. No, I shouldn't speak too soon, but, you know, cable management aside. Yeah, that's done. That's done. Done. Where's the power button? This is the scary bit now, because I have to find the bit labeled for power switch, which there isn't. I have a feeling it's going to be one of these. Right, I'll tell you what I should do. I should check the instruction manual for now. Power switch is the first two. Right, wish me luck. Boys. Lads. No signal. Ideal, but not the end of the world. We will turn it off for now. Cool. Right. Now it's time to figure out what went wrong there. That was definitely installed. That's definitely installed. That's definitely installed. That's definitely installed. That's definitely installed. Yep. Go again. Oh, have we got something? It's very quiet. It does seem to be the power supply that's not working. That's fine, we can work with that, can't we, buddy? And then absolutely gutting things. DRAM issue. Wouldn't even post to the BIOS screen. So potentially it's the motherboard. Been on the phone to the place where I bought the RAM because it's the DRAM indicator, and they're saying to troubleshoot it, which I'm going to do tonight. But yeah, looks like I'm going to be waiting a while, and the price of the CPU has gone down by like 20 quid. and they won't price match. So part of me thinks just buy it again and then send the original one back. Because why wouldn't they price match and stop me from doing that? I don't know.